Yo, 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 it's the Knicks world. You already know what it is. And we got to get to it. We don't do the show alone. I don't do the show alone. I got my good brother Rels with me. Got
What's
my
going
good
on? What's
brother
going on? What's
Champ
going
with me.
on?
What's going on, Rels? How
No,
you feeling,
man.
brother?
I'm feeling good, feeling great. Coming for this interview. It's the Knicks world. Shout out to all the family, B and Ant, and
Sir.
shout out to the New York Knicks community.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Champ, my good brother, how you doing, man? I'm gonna
The
see you
vibe.
soon. I'm gonna see you soon. It's gonna be our first meetup. I'm very excited. If you guys are going to be at Fanatics Fest, yeah, definitely please pull up. We will be in the building. Myself, Champ, will be in the building. Y'all get with us. Might have some stuff to give away in a couple weeks or so. Definitely gonna have some good content. But speaking of good content,
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Champ,
Yes, sir.
who we got on the show today?
My guy from the Athletic that cover your New York Knicks, James Edwards.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My good brother,
What's
Mr.
up, fellas?
5-time,
What's
4-time.
going on?
We gonna get him the jacket. You know what I'm saying? Do some good, a good little patent work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
SNL vibes.
We
What's
gonna get
up?
him.
Where's
We
it
gonna get him
at?
the hat. We gonna get him the kicks that he said he wanted to come to Harlem to get.
We're gonna get that footage.
thought I had time.
Oh,
I thought I was
James,
gonna have time.
James, you going on vacation right after this, right?
Yeah, I'm heading back home for a couple days. Yep.
Yeah,
But I'll be back.
figured
I'll be
that.
back next week.
Yeah, I figured that. Oh, okay, next week. All right, so
Yeah.
we might actually have to hit up which was you said the Cap USA or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cap USA.
Yeah, we might actually have to hit that up. Maybe get hit up a couple eateries, and that might have to be like a little. Cause actually, I was talking to Doug. Shout out to Doug B. I was talking to Doug B. About doing some content. While we're out there. Obviously, you've had Doug on. You wrote articles with Doug. Amazing guy. Amazing work.
Yep.
Just kind of like a nice little chill interview. Get to know you a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, James, we're not here for you today. You're here for we're here for you, but we here for the.
No,
You
I
got
know.
some tidbits. You got some the ears to the street.
No,
What's
let's
going on, my
go.
brother?
That's what we're here for.
How you doing today, brother?
I'm good, man. Yeah, waiting for this rain to go away. It's been
it's nasty outside.
nonstop. Yeah, I'm ready to like full-fledged summer. So, other than that, just a little sleepy, staying on alert in case something happens. We'll see. But yeah, other than that, been good. Gonna go see some family over the next couple of days. It's been a while.
That's nice. That's
so
nice, man.
dope.
That's what
Is
we
it in
doing
Detroit?
I'm from Flint, Michigan. So
Michigan,
about
okay.
Flint, Michigan.
Michigan State.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
do me a favor. Go since you're going near Detroit. I need you to go and talk to them League Beasley. Say, hey, man. I mean, it's not that bad.
Yeah, let me get on my FaceTime real quick. No, I'm just playing.
Hey,
No, he not. No, he y'all treated him too crazy. He's not pulling up.
He started it. He started doing the wiggle
look,
dance.
as
We ain't
soon
like
as you
it.
become a Nick, it's all forgiven. We the best guys in the world.
Look
I
at
love that.
campaign. Look at campaign.
Campaign. Yep.
Yeah, man. But yeah. So James, obviously, we got you for a good time, not a long time. Let's get right into it. James, last time we talked to you, obviously we were in season. The season ended on a traumatic note for us Knicks fans. I got to talk to you a little bit about, your piece, your little. The Knicks will not win the series. The Pacers. You turned out to be correct. You got a lot of flack for that.
I did.
A lot of people wanted. James, get ship him out of here. Get him out of there. They wanted Fred Katz back. They wanted, man. Listen, James has done a phenomenal job this whole. But you were right. I mean, look, it was tough. We believed for a second that it might happen. It was just too much.
With that, let me clear the air.
Preface.
First off, we all got bosses.
Yes.
They all ask us to do things that even we might not want to do.
Right.
That was one of them. Secondly, they act like I just said something. Fans act like I said something crazy. They were down 3-1.
Right.
That wasn't even like a hot take.
It wasn't.
Like no team has ever come back from that. It's been like 30 years. Like it wasn't like a hot. Like it's not like I was like the Knicks suck. That's why they're not coming back. It was no team's ever done this. Cat's hurt.
Yeah.
And the Pacers are good. Like it was
Hey,
it was 3-1. That wouldn't have happened if it was 3-2 or 2-1. It was
Right.
3-1.
hey, James, don't feel bad because they did that to me in our group chat. Shout out to my
Yeah.
sis B. Shout out to my boy, and I think probably the only one that was with me. They
Yeah.
did the same thing to me. Like, what you say? I'm like, listen, I'm a pessimist at heart because I'm in the business world. I'm like, guys,
You
nobody
gotta
ever
protect
done
your
it.
heart. You gotta
James,
protect
Right.
James,
I said
James.
nobody ever done it. Kim's like, we don't want to hear
it.
that.
And I
No,
get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. I
Knicks
get it.
James,
fans, again, sorry, Chad, I'm gonna say this. Knicks fans is like that mama that know that they kid ain't S and the police come knock on the door. Not my baby.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Right.
how I take it. Like I was talking to somebody about this. Nick fans are like the big brother who like beat up the little brother and
Yeah.
joke on the little brother, but if let somebody else say something about your little brother, you get mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
mhm.
A hundred
Yeah.
James,
percent.
You get
James,
mad, defensive, mad sensitive. Yeah.
you know what happened? What happened was, being that you from Michigan, they said, "Oh, now we explain it." Okay, that's what it is.
But the thing is, like, people just
How
act
dare
like
you
they just
state the obvious?
they
How
just
dare you state that?
ignore. I picked the Knicks to beat the Pistons. I didn't pick the Knicks to beat the Celtics, but very few people did. I picked the Knicks to beat the Pacers. Like, it's not like I was sitting here like the Knicks are trash. They're not going to win. I picked them to win 2 of the 3 series.
Yeah,
And we should have. We did not. Game one, obviously, that said a lot of things into where we are today. Obviously, the Tom Thibodeau is no longer the coach of the New York Knicks, and the New York Knicks are in a heavy coaching search right now.
Mm-hmm.
allegedly.
Rightfully so. Whatever you want to say, whether you're on the fence of keeping Tom Thibodeau, or we are the reality of today. Um,
Hmm.
us Knicks fans, we root for what's on the front of the jersey. My good brother got New York on the front of his jersey.
Mm-hmm.
He don't got his jersey swapped around where it says
Right.
Randall. He's wearing a Julius Randle jersey. So no, I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't know who the player is.
Oakley.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
okay,
Um,
okay.
but yeah, we root for the front of the jersey, whoever the coach is. Obviously, shout out to Tom Thibodeau for getting us to this step. Well, the Mark Jackson of the New York Knicks for getting us here. And now we're possibly adding, who a lot of guys are saying maybe similar options between Mike Malone, and Jason Kidd. Obviously, they have very different track records with Mike Malone winning the championship. And
Hmm.
you got Jason Kidd, also a player that won a championship. And obviously, this was just in the finals just two years ago. Or if you remove this current season,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if you add this,
yeah.
so those are some names that are being thrown around. Obviously, there's a lot of buzz around Jason Kidd. Um, Obviously, there's a lot of buzz. A lot of other names. Uh, what can you tell us? Obviously, we read your reports.
Mm-hmm.
There was a pretty good report from the Athletic yesterday that wasn't actually written by you yesterday, but I thought it was a pretty good article talking about how the next coach needs to have a toolkit.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
and I found that to be very interesting, and I agree with it wholeheartedly. The
Yeah.
toolkit, and I'm kind of, I'm spitballing right here. I don't have it in front of me. The toolkit was basically somebody who's willing to learn, grow from these certain, uh, obviously growth aspect, that matters. But
Yep.
this team is where it is. I think we have a lot of players that are in their prime. Speak
Mm-hmm.
to me a little bit about who you feel would have that toolkit, and I'll try to pull it up actually. I'm pretty sure I don't know if you read the article or not, but
I
what do
know
you?
which one you're talking about. I didn't get a chance to read it. Yeah, I mean, look, this is my thing. The Knicks, the front office are the only people who know what they're looking for and who has it. Um, Mike Malone, just from my reporting and others reporting at the Athletic, like we don't think that's going to happen. Um, Very similar to Tibbs. I think he's a little too outspoken for Dolan's liking. They don't really like their coaches to say too much, right? And Mike Malone speaks his mind. Jason Kidd, to me, Jason Kidd's a good coach. I want to say that first and foremost, but I don't necessarily understand moving heaven and earth to get Jason Kidd.
Right.
Again, I think he's a good coach, but do I think he's a significant or obvious upgrade over Tibbs? I don't. Um, Obviously, a lot of player respect him. Jalen Brunson respects him. They work together. Runs a lot of isolation stuff. Also, with that, he's had Sean Sweeney by his side as assistant coach at every head coaching job he's gone to. Is Sean Sweeney even going to come with him to New York? I know he has a lot of interest from teams elsewhere. So he's going to have to build a new staff. He might be without his right-hand man. There's mutual interest on both sides, mutual intrigue. I personally don't know if you're going to have to probably trade picks to get him. The Knicks, every pick is valuable at this point, even second round picks.
Absolutely.
Could the Mavericks milk them for even more now because it's the middle of June and the Mavericks now are going to have to do a coaching search if they were to negotiate with them. Listen, if they think Kidd is the right coach, Kidd's the right coach. I just don't know if it's an upgrade enough to move heaven and earth to try to get him.
We're here in this moment of we made our decisions, right? Like we decided to move on. It appears right now, at least, based off of just no information in when do we let go, Thompson? Has it been a week?
Might be a week to the day.
Yeah, D2. Yeah, exactly.
So we're a week in. That's a long time in like news world, right? News like every day there has to be a new cycle. You're talking about giving a compensation. You talk to Mark Stein saying, I don't think it's going to happen. I read that as everybody knows a reporter say, hey, do you mind? You know, like.
Yeah, I mean, there's also, there's a possibility that, and as of yesterday morning, me and Christian Clark did a story that's up on The Athletic, kind of updating people with the kid situation and what we know about the search. As of yesterday, the Knicks hadn't contacted the Mavericks yet. That doesn't mean that there aren't. I'm not suggesting they're tampering. I'm just saying it's the NBA.
Right.
Like people talk, you just never know. I mean, yeah, it could be. Is there a world where this is Kid trying to finagle a massive like contract extension? It's possible. I don't know that for a fact. Maybe we'll learn whether that's the case or not whenever the situation wraps up. But yeah, I mean, like that happens all the time. We saw it somewhat similarly with Danny Hurley last year. It felt like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In LA,
Yep.
Those are all obviously names that are already taken out of the coaching carousel. That leaves, us with the likes of that people are talking about, because obviously we'll get to the ones that people are not talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they are in smaller circles. But that leaves the Johnny Bryants.
Yes.
Leaves, like Johnny Bryant, who is familiar with our team, who, knows Tibbs and possibly what I would have done differently. I would have done this different. Didn't obviously have the it's very small moments. I would say Knicks Twitter probably pushed a lot of these moments that we did see pictures of, is when we saw Rick Brunson doing this to Tibbs. We saw that a lot more with with him being our assistant head coach before. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was just initiative, like let me just do that, or if Tibbs was just more open to hearing that from him, or I don't care. But
are you talking about Rick or Johnny?
Yeah, Johnny.
Oh, Johnny. Okay.
Yeah. Obviously we saw a little bit from Rick, but like I was saying with Rick, I think it was more like Nick's Twitter saying like, I wish Johnny Rick would do that. I think. At least I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're talking about like getting up and whispering in his ear and stuff like. I think all the coaches on that staff have a job. Rick knows Tibbs much better than Johnny knew Tibbs. Obviously, their relationship goes way back.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there were certain things Rick knew when he needed to say something, when he didn't, and that's why maybe it was too far and few in between. I think the thing with Johnny Bryant, and I hate. Well, let me just say this. It would be ballsy of them to hire a first year head coach, given all that's
Mm,
Yeah,
out there.
a lot risky right now.
Not to say that it won't
hmm
work, but
Right.
you better make
Right.
sure it works.
You better
But
make
with
sure.
but with Johnny and other assistants, I'll say this, and it's a normal part of fandom. Fans love what they don't know, right? They love the rookie at the end of the bench that don't play. They
hmm
love the player that's not in the rotation. They
hmm
love the assistant who has interviewed for jobs but isn't your head coach. Like that, they love the unknown, right?
Yep.
There
hmm
are assistant coaches in this league I know do a really good job. Like I mentioned Sean Sweeney, Jason Kidd's right hand man. He's the guy that I covered while he was in Detroit. Like I know what his role was and what how influential he was to the head coach. With that, there are a lot of assistant coaches who I think that the narrative is that they do a lot more than they do. And I think I understand like I'm not there's very few assistant coaches where I would go like, yeah, that guy should be a head coach. I don't know. I don't know enough. Like
Right.
what was he tasked with? What was he supposed to do? Did the people that worked with him actually like him? Was he easy to work with? Like we don't know this stuff, right? Like Johnny's a West guy. Um not to say he won't get the job, but it felt like if he was the number one choice for the job, he would be the coach already.
Right.
hmm
Um so it seems like they're going in a different route. But when it comes to assistant coaches that have never been head coaches, I just caution people like obviously you can be excited for whatever you want, like you can fan however you want to fan, but just because their name comes up every summer for a coaching job doesn't mean that they're like a good coach. Like sometimes their assistant coaches have friends in the media who do maybe the assistant coaches is the dude on the team who leaks stuff so the reporter does him a solid like yeah, they watch out for this guy for this job. Like there's so much into it. I just caution
That's
people to
familiar.
I just caution people
hmm
to like don't pound the table so hard for a guy that you're not totally familiar with what he or she does.
Now, obviously, we talked about people being a little bit unfamiliar. Um, Champ recently recorded a show, well, not a show, a short for us on Next World.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty, obviously talked about Jason Kidd. A couple other names he threw out there. Well, Champ, actually, I'll kick it to you.
He had
Yeah.
a crazy pause on that at the end.
He did. He did.
Hey, yo, sure
I saw
did.
that.
That
That was
was
crazy.
wild. That was.
It was crazy. It was
I didn't
crazy.
even hear the third coach because the video cut off after the pause. I didn't even
Yeah.
hear who the third coach was.
It
um
kind of had to cut off after that. It was
Yeah, I saw the video.
Chan,
not
talk to us a little bit about the coaches that you mentioned in the video.
yeah.
For if anybody that hasn't clicked the video and just saw the the teaser of the video, talk to us a little bit about those other players and James, obviously give us what you think about them.
Yeah.
So when you look at the teaser, you'll see a grid of Jerry Stackhouse on there.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Stackhouse right now is the associate or just an assistant sitting behind Steve Kerr in Golden State.
Yep.
Now, if you looking at any type of team or any type of coaching staff, Steve Kerr and the Warriors is the one that is probably one of the only ones that you're really looking into. Um, if you look at not Golden State, sorry, if you look at San Antonio, everybody wants something from the Popovich tree. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Steve Kerr. Everybody wants a piece of that tree that he's taught because of that dynasty that they had, the Stephen Currys and the Clays and the Draymonds of the world. So
Yeah.
you want that. And for a guy like Jerry Stackhouse, what it can do if he can showcase what Jalen Brunson can do for the likes of what he learned from the Steph Curry, or just from him in his own career in Detroit, you're a Detroit man, what he did for the Pistons. You know what I'm saying? Like what he can do for the likes of the McHales. So I felt like he would be a strong candidate for this team just for the way the group is orchestrated. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I like the idea of what Stackhouse could do. Like I'm not sitting here acting like I know what his role is in Golden State, but I
Mm-hmm.
will say he had success in the G League as a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
He coached at Vanderbilt.
Yes.
He's had head coaching experience. I know a lot of people that know him. Great guy, great communicator. Like, yeah, if you're gonna, my thing is, I have no, I nine times out of 10, I don't mind teams taking a swing on a first year head coach and experimenting and doing something different. I just wonder if like that's a really
Yeah.
tough, that's a really ballsy call for the Knicks to do. And
Mm-hmm.
not to say it's right or wrong. I agree. Like I think I'm intrigued by Stackhouse. I've um he's interviewed for jobs in the past. When I was in Detroit, he's interviewed for jobs that I was kind of reporting on. So you hear good things about him. I imagine Jerry Stackhouse will be a head coach at some point. Um, but certainly like that's a ballsy move by the if you're the Knicks. And there's nothing wrong with a ballsy move. You just got to be right.
Mm-hmm.
But I like
Mhm.
Stackhouse. I think that's I think he will be. I would like to. I'll say this. I don't know him, and I don't know exactly. Like I like the stuff I saw and heard and talking to people from the G League and in Vanderbilt. I'm intrigued by him as a head coach. I'll say that.
And last point, um, as you've seen the clip, was Rajon Rondo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot. He's a favorite that I've heard from the player standpoint. And again, I go for player. To be the same height as Jalen Brunson and to be a defensive menace in his career, to show Jalen Brunson one of his biggest weaknesses is defense. To show him where to move, to show him where to put his hands, to show him how to work, and even to help, even to be a leader. Like when you looked at that 2008 Boston Celtic team, and you look at the three Hall of Famers in KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, obviously Hall
Mm-hmm.
of Fame and Doc Rivers being your coach. Rondo made his name to be maybe not the leader because of the talent that they had, but he ran the show.
Mm-hmm.
He made his name by running the show. He made it to a big three to turn to a fantastic four, I like to call it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yep.
And that goes without question, like how LeBron even wanted him in LA for that. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Yeah, no, I think Rondo is one of those players, like one of the smartest players that, and again, I don't know him, but just being a fan of the game and
hmm
talking to people and watching, like it feels like one of the smarter players during his time. He seems like an even keeled dude, which is good for a coach. Like I could also see him as a guy that like down the line could transition into this. I just when it comes to that, it's like can that guy manage? Can he also manage egos? Can he manage a locker room? Are
hmm
his X's and O's good? There's just so much that goes into it. It's hard to say without like having a proper baseline to go off of. But like if you do your due diligence and you interview him and interview people around him, you learn that's like that he can do all those things. Like definitely worth the gamble. But I think he's definitely smart.
yes.
He knows the game well. Like it's definitely like another one of those guys that I could see like down the line being a head coach. And yeah, certainly. Like I don't I like those names.
It's a lot of cerebral minds out. Well, it's not a lot of cerebral minds out there, but Rondo, LeBron is one of those to where they're a danger on the floor because of if you're going against them, you don't want to play against them. But they're
Yeah.
also equally a danger on the bench because now that they're watching, they're telling players, "Yo, look out for this, look out for that."
Right.
Not a lot of
Yeah,
players
no, I
is
agree.
like that.
No,
Yeah.
coach their coaches on the floor.
hmm
Yep.
Rose, my good brother.
Yo, yo, yeah. For me, James, I was torn. I had two coaches only because I felt like we was gonna get Giannis. Everything's up in the air. We don't know we're gonna get him. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like a two-part thing. One, I said Jason Kidd, and I said Mike Budenholzer. And the reason why I said Kidd because he was with Brunson. I think for me, oh nobody kills me. I love Brunson as our point guard, but I would like to see him see a vision of the floor quickly instead of dribble, 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 dribble. Okay, I finally got the defense coming to me. I could pass the ball or hitting that off to somebody with 6 minutes, 6 seconds less. I want like just like Rondo, he can see the floor and see where everybody's at and make quicker decisions. That way, he's not getting tired. You see many times that Mikal Bridges had to come up the bring the ball up because it was bringing a lot of energy out. So that's why I said, okay, Cade can help him shape him to be that point guard who can score but get everybody involved quicker. Mike Budenholzer, because I like the fact that he kind of like used his bench a little bit more when he was a coach, and I seen some guys under his development become really good players to help win that championship. I had Jeff Teague and a lot of them guys talk about how Budenholzer coach and kind of hold people accountable. But my part to you will be is from the outside looking in, you cover the team with these guys all the time. What coach you feel is out there that may be a good fit for the team in the sense of not only maximizing defense, but make sure we maximizing the offense and developing young core, whether it's the young core that we currently have right now or someone in the future. Because I look at teams like the Houston, the Detroits, which is kind of like near dear to me because I like Detroit a lot because I like how they use the young guys. Houston use the young guys, and Orlando how they use the young guys. And I think that's always been our Achilles heel, was we're always using old vets kind of like drag us along instead of getting guys up who could run up and down transition.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I mean, of the people out there for all those things that you want, and that's kind of like where I'm at with this search is like, I don't know if I love the timing of them doing a coaching search. I don't feel
Right.
like this is a great cycle for that, right? Like, so
Yeah.
we talk about Mike Malone, great coach, right? Similar to Tibbs, but he relies on his starters,
Hmm.
didn't use his bench a ton, um, and I think that was the biggest hit, like bumping their heads there was front office wanted him to play young guys more. He didn't. And then after that, you look at a guy like who, like the Taylor Jenkins, good coach, but like, why were they pushing him out the door if he's so good, right? Like they immediately had his assistant or his replacement on the bench. Um,
Hmm.
and then now you're looking at somebody like Darvin Ham, who has had a mixed bag, right, as a head coach. Then you're looking at somebody like James Borrego, who has kind of been revered as an offensive mind. And to his credit, there was a year where Charlotte under his watch got 43 wins, but you hear about the struggles there, and not everybody. I don't think everybody got along with him there. Um, it's a situation where I just don't necessarily like. Do you maybe make a call to somebody like Dwayne Casey,
Mm.
who obviously he
Mm.
walked out of Detroit on his own terms. He was obviously the success in Toronto, went to Detroit to help them make the playoffs, and he did that in his first year. And then they decided to rebuild right after that, and he was a soldier at the front line for the rebuild. But then he was able to transition to the front office. Like he's still around. That's a guy who has helped develop young players and also had successful stints. Right. So there's 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 people that like maybe do bits and pieces of all of that, but I just don't think there's a perfect candidate from a veteran coach perspective.
Mm.
Um, and like maybe there's a young coach that brings all those things in, right? And I just wonder. I mean, it's again they get paid the big bucks to do that. The Dolan decided to move on. Now they make the big bucks to make the next decision. So they have to figure out who that is and what they value. And I think that was kind of my biggest thing is I'm not a big fan of just like this coaching cycle, which is like to me to fire Tibbs, which obviously there was stuff that was warranted to move on, and like I understand like they didn't try
Of
5 out.
course.
The line like he didn't play his bench too much, even though I'm not. Like I understand. I also understand why he didn't play his bench a lot. Like I think people are acting like the Monstars were at the end of the bench. Like it was some solid some solid some
Exactly.
solid veterans with rookies who were drafted late. Like they need more development, and there's more to development behind besides just playing games.
Yeah.
You hear this? You hear this?
So
That's what I tell y'all. That's what I tell you in the group
no,
chat.
but I'm not like everybody to each their own. I'm just saying like
Right. Right.
I just I yeah. Do you want him to use his bench more? Sure. Do I think like it was the most inspiring bench? No, it wasn't. Uh, there were like Cam's a solid veteran guard, but he obviously was up and down. Landry Shamet was up and down, and I also think like there was like this narrative that he never used Shamet. I'm gonna ask you guys this. I'll see if you guys
Hmm.
know this. If you had to guess, how many minutes per game did Shamet average during the regular season?
In the
And
regular season, maybe like 5 or 6.
nah,
Okay, Rails.
Nah, I would go
you-
like 10
yeah, in the
Okay.
regular season, he actually played. He played him in the rotation. It felt like,
when he
and
came back. Yeah.
not
He
actually
averaged
up and
15
down.
minutes a game over
Yeah,
50 games.
Oh wow.
Mm,
more
People
than
act like Tibbs just sat him on the bench.
But James, do you think that people do that because maybe the rotations he's hidden?
Maybe, but also I think look, I think you have to remember too. He came back from a pretty serious shoulder injury,
Right.
so
Right.
a lot of that was probably him easing in, and he played a lot at the end of the season, and yeah, like but back to your question, I certainly think that I'm not totally inspired by this carousel of coaches that's currently available.
Me
Yeah.
neither.
And maybe there's a young coach who breaks that mold, right? But that's
Right.
risky when you're going out and you're saying our goal is to win a championship publicly.
Now, guys, you remind me asking this. What if they do something kind of like, because when I look at like who's the team? Who's it? OKC. Yes, they head coach right now. Yes, he coached a G League, but he's been in the system, right? What if they do something like the Lakers, whereas you're gonna take a gamble on your first year head coach, but we're gonna show you up with assistant coaches that coach head coach before.
Yeah.
And the other thing will be for me is I think I constantly what you said about the bench. I think the problem with all of us Knicks fans feel like this. When you got like a play like Huck Party on your bench, you can't mean to tell me that you couldn't develop him during the season and feature him more, even have him and Cat at the same time. So that way you're not throwing Cat and Mitch at the same time. So Cat can be used to someone as big as him, not taller, that he got to understand his spacing on the floor. It's
Yeah.
kind of like that Tibbs do this whole we're gonna figure out and we're gonna throw paint on the walls or spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. And I think that's what bothered everybody. Whereas you got these young core on the bench, why not develop them in the middle of the season? Is your time to play around and check your different lineups. Say, okay, I'm gonna use them in the playoffs. This could be DEFCON lineup was my whole defensive squad. When I'm seeing how Party going like this, he's athletic and agile. I'm like, why you can play this guy more minutes and he play defense? And even if he makes mistakes, he could have did all that in the regular season with veterans. Then down the playoffs, he been ready. And the same thing even with Cola. You mean to tell me, no disrespect to DeLon Wright and campaign. When Coley come in, he's averaging 4 assists a game. That would have given Jalen Brunson a little bit of a breather because Coley's not coming in trying to shoot the ball. He's coming in trying to pass and facilitate, not always in stand check. Will tell you, I'm a big proponent that we need a backup point guard that's going to come in and not be a scoring guard that's going to kind of right the ship like a Mike Conley type of person. Right the ship. I'm hit you. I'm a straight open the floor. I'm hit people with assists. And I feel like it was egregious that with at least them two, even though I'm talking about, even though I'm throwing Daddy, but them two, that you didn't do what you need to do with them two. Because they could have helped us a lot in the
I'll
playoffs.
I'll say this really quick to that. Um, I think, and fans shouldn't consider this like this isn't something that should like cross their stratosphere. But what if, obviously, the Knicks came in with a lot of expectations this season, right, internally and externally. What if Tibbs had to get a certain amount of wins? What if Tibbs had to get a certain seating, like to keep his? Obviously, he didn't end up keeping it, but you know what I mean. Like, there's like,
Yeah.
and I'm not giving him an excuse, but like we don't. What was that, Stan? I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying. Like you're right. We just won't never. We'll never know. Like these are people
Right.
say these things a lot. Like the Knicks don't leak stuff, but they sort of do at times. Like
Yeah.
both things are right. Like I don't want to hear, oh, we've been linked to Carl Anthony Towns. We've been linked to
Right.
trade Julius Randle. We've been all of these things. It's not like the timing of it. Sure, did we know DiVincenzo was going to be in the club? No. Did we know certain? No. Like we don't know all the tidbit, but the
Yeah.
writings are on the walls, and I think the scariest thing for me presently, and I don't know if I was watching some TV show, and they brought up it like, are you a little afraid that now that we're here without a head coach, and I agree with James, this head coaching carousel is not the greatest. So obviously we probably did this off of some emotions. It seems like the Knicks do this a lot. Are we a little worried? We kind of have like this very cool mindset. Oh, we can trade Obi Toppin for 2 seconds. We'll be fine. Oh, we can throw Dante DiVincenzo and we'll be fine. Losing a shooter, obviously, you get Landry Shamet. You know, a shout out to Tibbs for what we saw in the playoffs. He actually looks solid. He looks
Mhm.
like a winning piece actually once he was healthy. But how worried are we as Knicks fans and you as well, James, that now that the Sphere is making money and like like the greatest toy of all time, um, the New York Knicks, James Dolan stepping in and saying, "Hey, I want this guy going," because it feels like that's what it was. Obviously, I mean, obviously there was rumors about that. Obviously, Casey.
Yeah. He didn't want him. He didn't like him.
I mean,
Rumors.
yeah, me and Fred have reported multiple times that this was a Dolan decision. I know other people have reported other things, but
He was at the
yeah,
exit interview, James, which is crazy. And I heard
yeah.
allegedly from listening to different reporters that he kind of like spearheaded the questions for each player, and people want to put the blame on Cat, but they said it was multiple players displeased on how things went this season.
What I want to know is
Yeah.
like the level of like 1 to 10. Now that because I agree with you, I think James Dolan definitely did make that decision. How worried are we that he's now all of a sudden going to be involved in more decision making with something like this being so big when you could have ran it back, probably added a piece. The players probably did. The players help lose games, sure. Could Tom have yanked Josh Hart and said, "Dude, you're turning over the ball an insane amount. Let's get somebody else to bring him the ball." Sure. Was that probably one of the reasons why he lost? I mean, he lost his job. Maybe.
Yeah.
Obviously, we win that game one. If we're in the Eastern Conference Finals,
Right.
he doesn't lose his job.
Uh,
So now we're on a whole different timeline. Now that we made that emotional decision, right?
yeah.
How worried are we about that?
How do I say this? I think there was this notion as of late that Dolan had stopped meddling in basketball stuff. Um, not totally sold that that's true. I think it was just painted that way. So I mean, listen, he's the one that got you guys Leon, and people love Leon, and obviously Wes has a big role there. So I mean, there have been good things to come. I think Leon and Wes are here in large part their connections, and I think like this team wants to big fish hunt.
Right.
And I
Hmm.
think that's something Dolan wants. They want a big fish in New York.
Hmm.
Um, now, do most teams want their owners to meddle? No. You want to hire your basketball people and let them do their job. So worry, I guess it depends on which side of the fence you come on. Like, did you want if you didn't want Tibbs fired, then you're probably a little upset. If you did want him fired, then you're probably happy it took place, right? So it kind of just depends on your vantage point. But certainly, we have it on good authority that this was Dolan's decision to move on from Tibbs, and
Hmm.
again, obviously, other people have reported other things. Not here to knock down anybody else's reports, but certainly, it's a situation where this feels like to me. I don't want to say this. I think if you read the tea leaves, to me,
Hmm.
this whole process tells you kind of what you don't have to even be an insider to know what happened, right? So if everybody expected Tibbs to be gone,
Correct.
doesn't this process probably go a little differently? Not where within the first week they have their eyes set on a coach who's under contract for 2 years.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mind doing your due diligence, right? But it's very clear that there was not that some people may have been caught by surprise with this, and now they're scrambling and they're trying to figure out the best coach that they can get. That's what
It's
this
funny.
process is playing out as.
It's funny that you say that because before you, I don't know if you were here for this, but before he got his extinction last season, there were mixed there were mixed feelings about re-signing him. I
Mhm.
remember that report, and they were saying that he had gotten to a little rift. He, as in Tibbs, got into a rift with William Wesley, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously,
There are people who are fans of Tibbs in the front office and people who weren't.
Right.
right,
Hmm.
Yeah.
right, and that was the report.
Hmm.
A couple years
Yep.
ago, when there was like they said that there were too many, and this was when Fred was here. I believe he said, I don't remember what article it was. It's like the Knicks have like 10 chefs in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Correct.
Part of
Correct.
it, they don't even have a GM. I know Rosas supposed to be there. I don't believe he is. I think Tibbs was part of it. It was like a round table rotation of like, what do we do? What do we do? Are you happy
Correct.
with this? Cool. Now that you don't have Tibbs there, obviously you need a coach to say, are you happy with this? We're going into the look. Finals is going to be over in what? It's a
A
3 game,
week or so. Right.
Yeah.
of a 5 game series, whatever you want to call it. The finals gonna be over soon. Then we're gonna go into free agency, and then now it's like, how far are we going into this? We look kind of at this point, like 7 days in, it looks a bit, it looks a
I'm
bit.
curious to see what happens. So, like I said on the show earlier, that as of yesterday, the Knicks had not reached out to the Mavs to begin the
Mhm.
negotiation or whatever for Jason Kidd.
James, to
If
pick it back, let me
yeah,
cut you off. To pick it back off that, right? Because you hear the parts like, oh, the Knicks want to get Kid, and people on the assumption that we already made our move. I'm sure that the Knicks are probably thinking, okay, if we do this, we probably had to get off our second round picks, right? And we see nowadays from the Jokic and people who came before him, those second round picks that really was diamonds in the rough, that came superstars. Second round picks now is important. Now we already know Dallas is desperate because they have no picks because the whole Luca thing, right? And they don't really have picks like that. So they're gonna do whatever to get like a couple, probably upload our picks to flip what they need to do. So if I'm in the office with them, like before we jump to do this, let's reconsider and see everything on the table. Why does this make sense? You
yeah, I
know.
think
So what do you
yeah,
think about
yeah.
that?
I think that's fair. I think though, if you're Dallas, what's more important is do we want to do a coaching search in the middle of July when we don't have to,
Right,
as opposed to getting
Correct.
like so the Knicks are inconveniencing us.
right,
Is
Correct.
is 2 second round picks worth it? Like maybe you up the ante. Like you don't know,
Right.
right?
yeah,
And I'll say this: what if the Mavericks say no? Like they formally come out and or like right now we've reported that their plan is to say no. The Knicks just
Yeah,
haven't
I
asked
saw
yet.
that. Right.
So what's the Knicks' backup plan if they say no? That's what I'm interested to see. I'm ready. I'm
I,
interested to see what happens if once this option's cut off.
I have a
And
question.
oh my
Okay.
bad, go ahead, champ.
Oh, I have a question for you since we on this topic.
mind you, guys,
Uh,
we got to wrap up the show pretty quickly. We've already exhausted our
No, you're
time.
good. I got like 5 minutes. I actually just had somebody
Appreciate you,
call
bro.
me. No, you're good.
Appreciate
Call
you,
me about what
James.
I believe is
absolutely.
the is has to do with Dallas. So
Oh,
I got like 5 minutes, and that's cool.
dang
Oh,
it,
okay.
on an hour later.
Yeah, we might need some breaking news.
Right.
Do you think that the way the Knicks is going at the Jason Kidd situation is a bit premature, as if they feel like if you give up some assets for something that not that you don't need, because here you need a coach, but you want a coach. I mean, we are just what a week and a day or two removed from being removed from the playoffs, and then we're a week of today of getting rid of our coach who got us to the conference finals. And now you're talking about going out your way to get a coach that's already employed. Do you think that there was some back channels to talk to where if you get Kid, there's a very, very good chance that something can transpire as to why they want Kid?
Are you alluding to Giannis?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah. No, no. So I'll say this. I can't speak to that.
I know.
I,
That's
I
why I
will.
was trying to go around it.
I will say though, but Dolan liked Kid when they interviewed him when it was for Tibbs's job.
Hmm.
So like this is like I also heard that Dolan also likes Jordy Fernandez in Brooklyn. So I wouldn't be surprised if this diminishes and we hear the Knicks maybe might have interest in Jordy Fernandez. I think they genuinely like Kid.
Hmm.
Now again it all kind of waits on what happens with Giannis because like if you're Giannis and I already know what New Yorkers are going to say, so I don't even know why I'm saying this, but like why not just go to Dallas?
Right.
Hmm.
But then New York, I was waiting for somebody to say, but this is New York. I was waiting for somebody to say it. I mean,
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
I laid it up
No,
I
here
would
we're
I would say the makeup of the teams is different.
you
for
know
I would
sure.
say I don't know what Dallas would give up.
fans.
I
No,
don't know what
I'm
Dallas would
playing.
give
I'm
up.
playing.
I don't know
And
what Dallas would give up in that deal, but they have, Giannis and AD together would be kind of like malpractice, and I think that's why we want to give up Cat and Giannis deal because it's like, all right, so what you gonna have Giannis and mixed together? Like, how does that? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I guess
Yeah,
that's why it's like what.
I think it's fascinating. I'm just very curious to see. And again, I'm not saying that maybe the Mavericks changed their mind from what we've been told. Maybe the Knicks. I'm just I'll to answer your. I was trying to get back to this. I'm not a fan of trading picks for a coach.
Yeah.
I get you.
Like, unless you're going to get Eric Spoelstra,
Yeah.
Ty Lue, like I think those are
Mm-hmm.
the Steve Kerr, like those are the three best coaches in basketball to me. Jason Kidd is a good coach. What I have, if Tibbs was still coaching and we made a list of the best coaches, am I sure he would have been above Tibbs? I'm not. And
That's
I'm not trading picks. Maybe they're in the same ballpark. Maybe he's one notch. Maybe somebody would have him one notch above. I'd have him one notch below. I'm not trading you also have to think about their financial situation. These second round picks are valuable.
oh yeah.
Yes.
Like you got to
Valuable.
hit on second round.
Yes.
Like you got to
Yes.
like they have financial restraints in which these second round picks are valuable. These late firsts are valuable. So listen, if they're that sure that Kid is the right guy, more power to him. He might be. I just it just feels a little bit like like I don't know, unnecessary.
Premature to me.
Yeah.
Premature.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I just want to say something real quick before James go. For me, for Dolan coming in and spearheading this firing, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I feel like it was time because no matter what, you kept hitting your ceiling. Things happen for us to get to the Eastern Conference Final because you ask any Knicks fan privately, things happen to either go total second round in Boston, 6 games. If we lost, it would have been respectable because we understand the defending champs. I
Can
think
I
the
cut you off
problem.
really quick?
Sure. Yep.
Everybody keeps talking about Tibbs took us to the ceiling. I don't get that. They got
No,
better.
we
They
don't,
got better every year.
right.
So like, what's to say? So last year there was a second round with injuries. The year before that was second round.
Hmm.
This year the Eastern Conference Finals. Like
Hmm.
they were a bounce away from maybe being in the finals. Like I'm not. This is not directed at you. Like I want to make
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
clear.
sure,
I
yeah,
just that like that's been the thing is like people keep saying yeah we reached our ceiling with Tibbs. What
Y-
there's the only proof we have is that he's raised the ceiling. Like
Yeah.
you can have issues with the X's and O's and stuff like that. Like I
right,
understand that and I
right,
get why he was
right.
let go. But to assume that this team couldn't have gotten to the finals with him, I think is not the right thing to say because they were again possibly a bounce in a game away from being right there. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to address that because people have
Oh no,
brought up
sure,
the ceiling
sure.
thing and it's not directed at you
No,
at
And
all.
this
No,
is
no,
going
no.
to be the first clip because this is going to get the conversation started. There's
A
a
hundred
lot of
percent.
Chips Crusaders out there that's going to be like, exactly.
Well, yeah, I get both.
No,
I want
no.
to make it clear. I get both sides. Like I understand people who like it's time for him to
Yeah.
go. Like our X's and O's. We didn't try five out. We didn't do this. We didn't do that. I understand that, but also I don't think you can use the ceiling. And again, not you. You can't
yeah,
use the
Yeah,
ceiling argument when they've progressed. Like,
I agree.
correct.
what's to say that they couldn't have progressed one more time?
And I think fair. And I think will bother I think the whole community, those who was in favor of Tibbs, that he got fired instead of saying, okay, you know what? The coaching duties are done. We appreciate you. Maybe going to the front office, something like how it was with
And remember,
Brad
remember,
Stevens in Boston.
he didn't get fired. He got relieved of his duties, if that matters.
I think that's a nice way. Yeah, I think that's the
It's a
kind
nice
way.
way of
Thank
saying the
you for
business
all that you've
world.
done. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he
I'm
should
saying
have been.
while
I
I'm
think
saying
everybody. Right. I
while we're
think.
acting and
Right.
while we're like
Right.
we do have to be because it's a slippery slope. It's a game of telephone, and we have great journalists like James who say, "Hey, let's stop what we're doing here, and let's let's question it." You can move goalposts. You can honestly, you're a ball drop away, a lot of little things, a turnover away, a 3 pointer away, percentage up, whatever it is. There's a lot of different things you could break down. Should Tips have been gone? Yes, we all discussed that. We know the bad thing about it was the timing, and the timing was off. The timing was
The
not polished.
timing. I'd say that's fair. I think timing was off, but I think a lot of people will like seeing Tibbs get the opportunity to go to the front office just like a Brad Stevens. When they relieved him of his duties from being the coach and he went to the front office and then you name me Doka went in, things happened. And I think people kind of wanted that out of respect for Tibbs. to go, because I spoke to a lot of Knicks fans. They felt that he should have been stayed in the organization, moved to the front office, and then it could have been some another heir apparent or whatever. It's just that we're gonna give him something out of respect what he did for us for the past 4 years, especially these strong 3 years. How you feel
Well,
about that, James?
Tibbs has $30 million that he's going, so we did that for him. So he's still going to be big.
Right.
Shout
No,
out to
I get what you're saying, but I think to our point earlier, there's a lot of voices in the front office,
right.
and is there enough room for another powerful one? And I think Tibbs probably the dude's born to coach. Like I think he's born
Yes.
to coach, and the moment you tell him that I just did something that nobody's done in 25 years and I'm still not good enough, like let me get up out of here.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Damn, you say it like that. Shit.
yeah. Speaking on,
I mean, listen, I'm sure that's how he feels. I haven't
I'm
talked to
sure
him
that's
since
it.
then, but yeah,
I'm sure that's it, Phil. But you also just because, like I told you, Jay, I'm in the business world. You got to kind of like look at stuff like quickly. Like I'm sure that's how he feels. But you also got to look in the mirror. You went from Chicago. You did your great things. You went to the Minnesota, took them to the playoffs. Haven't been in playoffs, whatever. Then you come to New York and you did magic. But you also got to look in the mirror of things that it's something that's following you 3 stops. So obviously you got kind of got to get out your way, even though you feel like your way is winning,
right.
true, but you got to adapt with times too. I need to look at my assistant coaches like, what do you guys think? What offensive schemes we got to go against these different coaches as offensive minds. What do
Right.
you think? And I think that when you don't do that, you just stay stubborn. That's gonna hurt you because no matter you come to a situation and be the fixer, a good fixer also gonna lean on the staff that you hire. Like I
A
run a
good builder
business,
needs good tools.
right? I'm in the business world for Verizon. I had to lean on my team, no matter if
going
I feel like Terrell doing what he need to do. I lean on my team because my
right,
team got fresh eyes.
Yep. No, that's a
yeah.
great point.
And obviously, speaking on that, timing, speaking on all the tools, speaking on all the, it's time for us to get up out of here. It's time to get James up out of here. He's got some news to break that will probably be in the space on, or we might have to
No,
open
we'll
this back
see.
up.
We'll see.
Um,
James, DM
It
me
could
this
be nothing.
news.
I'm sure if there's actual news, I'll probably tweet it out. But I'm about to call my coworker back and see because he only calls me when we got to talk about something. So
Uh,
uh,
you
I
do
hear it.
that, I will hit you up. We'll definitely try to get you on the next show. Actually, next week, obviously, enjoy your next few days off. I'll hit you on once I'm in town. We'll try to get together. We'll go to Cap USA, get maybe some good eateries. And yeah,
please.
man, phenomenal work throughout the whole season. James, before you get up out of here, tell the good people where they can find your work, where they can support you.
Yeah, I'm at the Athletic, JL Edwards III. Well, on Twitter, I'm on Blue Sky, JL Edwards, whatever the Blue Sky ending thing is. The Athletic, go to the Knicks tab, go to the author page. I want to say thank you to y'all for the support.
Appreciate you, bro.
And just kind
Appreciate
of
you, man.
and the love you've shown me since I've been here. Stan, obviously we've talked a lot. Champ, we've talked a few times. Rails, it's nice to meet you, but just
Nice to meet
appreciate
you,
the
bro.
support y'all have shown me since I've come here, and um, the taking appreciation for what I do, and it means a lot. So I appreciate the welcome and the friendliness.
Come on,
Absolutely,
man.
brother.
Extended
Absolutely,
family,
bro.
bro.
You're
Send the
always
Yeah,
family.
welcome. You're always
Follow
welcome.
us
appreciate
on
y'all.
X, man.
Extended
Got
family,
you.
bro.
Yeah, got you. I follow everybody except Rails, right?
No, I
Yep.
don't think you follow me. Not
Uh,
yet.
No, I think I do. What's yours, Champ? Hold on.
like that. Yeah, but yeah.
Hold on.
Obviously, yeah, it's amazing work.
Send me their Twitter. Send me DM or send me the. Make sure. I'm gonna make sure I follow you when I get off this.
Yeah,
All right.
Stan.
I got y'all.
All right,
I got you.
Now it's on Stan. If I don't get it, it's Stan's fault.
All
yeah.
right, we
Right.
gonna understand.
All right, brother.
Appreciate y'all.
I'm gonna catch
Appreciate you, bro.
All right,
Yeah,
bro.
peace.
you. I'm not gonna end the show right now, just
Okay.
because I want to talk for the next 5 minutes. Since we're approaching an hour. Uh,
Debrief. Mm.
obviously, great interview. James amazing with his time, especially
Mm.
with us. We know he doesn't pull up to too many shows, so very very appreciative whenever
Definitely grateful.
chop it
Yeah.
up with Champ or Rels or whether it's Ant. We haven't had B on the show with them yet. Obviously, we'll have that as well. But yeah, guys, what we think. I mean, that he gave us a lot of, he gave us a lot to talk about. He gave us a lot to break down. I
Hmm.
think the most interesting part that he was talking about was just the kid stuff possibly just not happening. And if that's the case, and we did this on shit timing because we had an emotional moment. And granted, we all talked about it. With Tibbs, we all knew Tibbs had to go. The timing probably wasn't the best, especially when you don't have somebody lined up right away.
Mm-hmm.
Probably tampering right now. We're probably doing a lot of other things right now. But I just found it very interesting, those parts, especially we're going into day 7 or day 8 of this, and we don't have any answers, and that's the vibes. Those are the feels coming out of today.
Yeah. For me, again, this is why when I made that short and I said, aside from Kid, those that I would like to see get an opportunity. Um, because again, like when you look at a guy like Rajon Rondo, who is very well respected around the league, and a lot of people love to be around him just to gain his influence or just to like depict his mind, just because of how cerebral he is. Um, Again, defensively, a wizard in his playing time. And when you look at one of our main issues with our star, and which is defense, if you have a Rondo that's literally coaching you and showing you and letting you know where to go, where to put, or whatever at your miniature stature, that goes a long way. That goes a long way. Maybe Rondo has a longer wingspan, but I would say the likes of Brunson, like Kyle Lowry kind of body. But Kyle Lowry defended the best that he could. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at a guy like Rondo, if he just places Jalen in certain spots, that works. You get what I'm saying? It works a lot. And then, yeah,
I think the other thing, speaking of the Rondo thing, if anybody's seen him on the show with I'm blanking on a Lakers head coach right now, JJ Redick,
you get ready.
um, who's just talking about like who he learned from, and he mentions Tom Thibodeau. He mentions, like these are one of his guys that he's learned from. So I don't know what the next aim is. I don't know if they're looking to do a complete 360 on like we don't want somebody that has like nothing to do with like a guy like Tom Tibbs. Influence wise, obviously, it's different coaching trees, but between the guys that are left, but um, obviously, also I ain't gonna hold y'all up. I really wanted to see if after James got off the show, I was like, let me see if he gonna tweet something real quick just so we could get it on the show real quick. To be honest with you, I ain't gonna hold you.
Uh,
That's a little bit why I was like, hold on, we gonna stay on just a little bit longer.
also,
Just
we get breaking news.
about, yeah, obviously, James probably on a call. This looks like there's some good spaces that's going on today. We're gonna tune into. Obviously, shout out to the Knicks community. Shout
Yep.
out to the YouTube Knicks community. And yeah, on that note, we pretty much gonna get up out of here. My good brother Rels, champ, tell the good people where to find you at work. Um, and yeah.
You can find me on Twitter dash X or X or whatever you want to call it at Flyman Jones. You can follow me on IG as well as Jones Stay Ballin'.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rels, tell the good people where they can find you, where they can support.
Yes, you can find me on X on King_easy Rels and on IG Young Guru 82.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For Champ, for Rels, B, Ant, we up out of here. It's the next world. We gonna get to y'all on the next drink. Appreciate y'all tapping in.